Welcome to the Sales Leader of Influence show. For sales leaders who lead with soul, spirit, and spine. In a world obsessed with tactics, this is the show for those who know leadership is personal. And here's your host, Bernadette McClelland.
And welcome to this week's episode of the Sales Leader of Influence show. And I thought I'd kick this week's show off with the meaning of the word influence and why being a sales leader of influence is so critical today. When we think about the meaning of the word influence, it actually stems from the word influere, the old Latin word influere, which means to flow in. I mean, you can take it way, way back to, the etymological meaning, which means from the celestial bodies, meaning the stars. This impact on, humans came from these stars, whatever that may mean. But if we put it into today's language, it basically means that if you have the ability to create change in you and around you, and this ability to be able to create flow. And I think today that in our roles as sales leadership, in the sales leadership role rather, we have such a responsibility, not just from our own perspective, from the responsibility to create change in us and to elevate our own standards, but the responsibility of creating change around us within our team. And another layer again, the impact on the business. So being a sales leader, the responsibility carries so much weight when it comes to influence. Your level of influence is so deep and so broad. And to really carry that off, your standards need to be continually up-leveling. And that is why the Sales Leader of Influence method has 5 layers, the way that I've designed it, of being, doing, and becoming. And the being part of it must start with a level of congruence, a level of connection, a level of clarity, a level of conviction, and a level of creativity. And all of those together will build your level of influence. Now, why is this important today? When I've led this episode with the lie that sales leaders cannot afford to tell. Because when we bring together influence and responsibilities and standards and the word lie, it has nothing to do with sales leaders being liars, by the way. But I want us to look through that lens, though, because there is a gap that is costing businesses millions and millions and millions of dollars based on the fact that sales leaders are missing something, and that something is a lie. We all are on the spectrum somewhere of lies, whether it is the fact that we tell tiny little white fibs, or whether, as we are seeing in the world today, massive, enormous lies that impact businesses, people, everything. We're seeing it on a massive political, geopolitical scale, like, well, we've probably seen before, you know where I'm coming from there. But I want to bring it back to a word, and that is the word promise. And when we make a promise to somebody and we don't keep that promise, we are in effect living out a lie. And I want to bring this to sales leadership because it is costing businesses millions of dollars. And I want to outline how and why. First and foremost, a promise. We think about what a promise actually is. And I know some of you might be about to turn off now and think, oh gosh, here we go, another one of these fluffy words. Bernadette, what the heck are you going on talking about a promise? But think about what a promise is. A promise is more than just a statement. A promise is actually almost a leadership signature. We have doctors who make a promise. It's called the Hippocratic Oath. And their whole career is based on a promise of do no harm. We have the military who swear to defend us. They do not take that oath lightly. Any of us who are married stand at that altar and we share vows. Those vows are promises. And most of us do not take those lightly either. So a promise is more than just a statement to most people. A promise is saying, I've got you. A promise is saying, you can trust me. Now, if we as leaders are saying that to our team, and yet we're not abiding by that, then is that a lie or not? And by us not holding our end of that bargain, what is the real cost? Because there is a cost. And that's what I want to share with you today. So let's just think about this for a moment, because this is happening out there in the world every single moment. We have leaders who are saying, I'm coaching you every Tuesday, 11 o'clock. You better be there. And yet they are the ones that are cancelling. We have leaders who are committing to going out on the road, and we have salespeople sitting in cars waiting to meet a leader in a car park, and they don't front. All of these, I don't need to go on. You know exactly where I'm coming from there. So what I'm saying is we have leaders that are making these empty promises. Now, what is that teaching the sales team? It's teaching the sales team, I don't trust you. And the impact of this is three or fourfold. Let me explain. You will have a salesperson that perhaps may be stuck on a deal, and you're not there for that coaching session. So they go out and they do what they think is the best that they can do, and they lose the deal. Another scenario is that another salesperson may not feel safe enough now because they don't trust you, and therefore they won't put their hand up and ask a question because they don't feel safe. And because they're not asking a question, they're not getting the right information. They don't feel safe enough to be vulnerable because the last thing that they want to do is to feel stupid. So they go out and they do the best that they can, and they don't win the deal. The salesperson who's sitting in the car park wondering where the heck his leader is has to continue to go on the call because the client is waiting. But that client is a C-level, and this salesperson doesn't feel 100% comfortable because a little bit of imposter syndrome, goes on the call anyway because they're upholding their end of the deal, and they don't win the deal or win the business because they've mucked up. Let's just face it, energy transference is a real thing, right? Now you've got other people in the team who are seeing the leader for who the leader really is, and their level of confidence in the leader is dropping by the minute. So they're starting to look for another job. So now you've got a revolving door about to happen. So not only have you lost millions of dollars potentially in business, but now there's added costs of losing good talent, plus onboarding costs for new talent. And the list goes on because one sales leader has not upheld their part of the promise. What's the promise? Was there ever a promise? And the word promise is just one of those words that we just overlook because it's such an insignificant word when all you're doing is focusing on the pipeline. Who's got time to look at words like promise or purpose or perception or priorities? We want to look at pipeline. But you're missing the boat because there's foundational gaps that are leading to the pipeline. And this is what a lot of leaders don't realize. This is all part of your revenue clarity. It's role clarity. And so I want you to consider what are the commercial ramifications of you not having a promise to your team, you not having an oath, you not swearing an allegiance to your role, your team not knowing what your promise to them is. I promise to respect your time. I promise to communicate with you in a reasonable manner. I promise to work closely with you. I promise to coach you. What's your promise? And if you notice, your promise is steeped in your values. Do you know what your values are when it comes to leadership? So I really want you to consider that dashboards are one thing, but declaring your promise to your team is another. Because this is what is going to create the bond between you and your guys, you and your team. This is what is going to create a high-performing culture. It starts here. We're seeing what's happening in the world when the promises are broken. We see what happens in marriages when promises are broken. We see what happens in leadership roles elsewhere where promises are broken. You can't afford that to happen. So start with influence. Start with creating change in you and around you. Start with that layer, the first layer of the sales leader of influence method, which is positioning you as a sales leader of influence. It is congruence and it is managing self. Next is connecting with your people and motivating them at the right way of motivation, understanding their motive for action. And you will find that they want to trust you because they want to feel psychologically safe. But you need to know what makes them tick first. So I want to leave you with that today. It's a lie you can't afford to tell. Promise is what you need to start with. And so I want to encourage you, go to salesleaderofinfluence.com, salesleaderofinfluence.com. And at the top, you can download the report that I've got there. It's the paradigm shift that I believe that sales leadership is taking right now. We are in a state of change. And if you are not creating change in you and around you, something or someone will do it to you or for you. It's the premise of deliberate disruption. And while you're there, take a look at revenue and role clarity. It's a program that you can do on your own, or if you want to invite me in or have a conversation with me first. You know me, I'm always up for a conversation. So on that note, connect with me. Follow me if you're listening to this on the podcast platforms. Please like and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, please follow me there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's growing slowly. And on LinkedIn, connect with me, shoot me a message whenever. But in the meantime, continue to lead with soul, spirit, and spine. And we will see you this time next week. Have an amazing week. Bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the Sales Leader of Influence show with your host, Bernadette McClelland. See you next Wednesday live at 5 o'clock Eastern.